In this video, I'm going to teach you some of the biggest mistakes you want to avoid if you're trying to repair your credit in 2026. Let's begin. All right. I am making this video because I get at least 3 to 4 DMs a day around credit repair questions on what to put in letters and how should I be disputing and why did this agency say this and why are they saying that, and the list goes on and on. So I figured it'd just be a lot more effective for me to come on here and address some of the bigger concerns that a lot of you guys are bringing to my attention and the mistakes I'm seeing you make in it that may be keeping you from having the success that you want to have when it comes to getting your credit restored. So what does that look like? The first mistake that most of you guys are making when it comes to getting your credit back in proper position is that you are still following the old way, if you will, of trying to get your credit report clean. So let me know if this sounds familiar, right? You are creating a credit repair letter, you're sending it out, you're waiting every 30 to 45 days for a response, and you repeat that process every single month. The problem with that is that that method still works, yes. However, in 2026, if that is the only thing that you are doing when it comes to restoring your credit and you're not leveraging all the different angles you could take when it comes to attacking the credit reporting agency, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to get the results you're looking for in the time frame that you're looking for them to come in. With this dispute process, you have to understand things from the credit reporting agency side of it all. Once upon a time, I know there was always a thing of like, well, you know, maybe a person at TransUnion, Equifax, or Experian is getting these letters and sitting down and reading it. In 2026, there is nobody that's at these credit reporting agencies that's physically sitting there and opening up the letters that you guys are sending them over, right? It's going through an automated system called eOscar, which I can make another video about, that's reviewing the letters and ultimately making the decision. So you have to take the power back in your own hands and take a much more creative approach when it comes to how you're attacking these accounts. Yes, you can still send out the credit repair letters, but you also want to do additional things on top of that that are going to increase your chances of getting the results that you're looking for. So what does that look like? On top of sending out credit repair disputes, some of the different strategies that you guys want to keep in mind as well is also being able to get on the phone with credit reporting agencies and being able to also dispute the accounts over the phone. You also want to be able to look into filing complaints when it comes to the things that are on your credit report as well. So not just sending your letters, of course, over to the credit reporting agencies, but then also looking into sending them over through whether it's filing BBB complaints with the creditors that are on your credit report or the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, so that they're also putting pressure on the credit reporting agencies as well. So that way your dispute is not only getting sent in one time, but several times over and attacking the account in as many different ways as possible. Another one that I learned is actually becoming more and more prominent as of recently, submitting your disputes online, right? So taking the things that you're putting in these letters and also submitting it online as well, to where if you're mailing your disputes, sending them online, filing it as a complaint, getting on the phone, you just went from one different way to attack, where within that 30 to 45 day time frame, you attacked it in 4 different ways, which now makes your ability to go ahead and get the negative items off more effective. The only way that I've seen to where sending letters will work by itself is usually within my own company, where because we know the exact laws to leverage to get the accounts removed within those letters, we've seen success in being able to strictly just send letters. But if you don't have that expertise and understand the verbiage that needs to go into these letters to put yourself in the position, could you only send letters and see success? Yes, but if you want to increase your likelihood of doing so, then experimenting when it comes to different dispute strategies is going to be your best friend. Now, that kind of piggybacks over to my second point, which is that for most of you guys in the year 2026, the next biggest mistake that you're making is using old generic templated letters. Okay. So most people who are watching this right now you buy a DIY template for about 20 to 40 bucks and you say, I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to go ahead and figure it out. Right. You put all your information in that DIY template and you send it over to the credit reporting agencies and you hope it works. But here's the problem with that. The problem with most DIY templates, especially in 2026, is that most of them haven't been updated to show the verbiage that the credit reporting agencies need to see to get those negative items off, number one. Number two, when it comes to these DIY templates, if you bought this template to send over to the credit reporting agency, so did the tens of thousands of other people that company is selling a letter to also did as well. If the credit reporting agencies are seeing these letters over and over and over again coming from different consumers, that's ultimately what leads to what I'm sure you guys probably run into from time to time, or can contribute to what most of you guys may be seeing from time to time, which is those stall letters where they come back and say like, hey, we don't think that this is actually you. Because we don't think that this is actually you, we need for you to resend your dispute letter. I think it's called like an affidavit of truth or something along those lines, or like, excuse me, you have to get your letter notarized and then resend it back. And that's ultimately happening from you guys recycling the same generic dispute letters over and over. So once again, it's not about buying a templated letter. A lot of times it's about understanding how credit reporting works and and being able to attack your credit report from as many different angles as possible to go ahead and get those negative items off. And a lot of times simply relying just on DIY templated letters isn't going to get the job done. Now, the third mistake, and this is a very, very big one that most people don't talk about, is that when it comes to credit repair, a lot of you guys only focus on getting the wrong stuff off, but you don't focus on putting the right stuff back on. I'll say it again. A lot of people focus on getting the wrong stuff off, but don't refocus after the fact about getting the right stuff on. So because you guys hyper focus on removals, the good news is, let's say you get to the end of the credit repair process after 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months. Your report is clean, but now what most people don't understand is even though those accounts were negatively affecting you, they also contributed to the overall credit history that you had as well. So removing them now made your profile super thin to where it's not enough to just get them off and then kick your hands up and say, I'm okay. Unless you already had a very strong profile before, you have to go ahead and rebuild your credit during and even after the fact so that once those accounts get removed, it not only helps, of course, because those negative accounts are on, but you were already preparing for that by having those credit building accounts and those credit cards that were building that positive payment history and that length of credit history to replace what you were getting from those negative accounts. Yes, you want to focus on removing those negative accounts, the collections, the charge-offs, the late payments, the repos, the delinquent student loans, whatever it may be, but you also want to make sure that you are rebuilding either during the process or after the process so that your profile is strong enough so that you can leverage it for what I assume is the reason why you want to get your credit clean, okay, which is whether getting access to capital or doing some form of financing later on down the line. Okay. So what I would tell you guys to do when it comes to this is make sure that you are following, I call it the 3-3-3 method. Okay. So you want to get at least 2 to 3 credit builders. And then from there, you want to get 2 to 3 starter cards. And then from there, I would say, and pretty much let those sit on your credit report individually for at least 3 months. Really, I would call it 3-3-6. So you want to get 3 credit builders, let those sit on your credit report for at least 6 months. Then after that, you circle back for the credit cards and get 3 of those and let them sit on your credit report for at least 6. And then by that point, right, you would have age credit builders, you would have age credit cards. The credit cards you normally going to get after. The credit builders you can get during the repair process. The credit cards you can get after your credit repair process. So now your credit report is strong once again in the eyes of lenders that you may want to work with later on down the line. Very, very important. Now, this next one is going to get me in trouble, but I like a little trouble, so it's okay. The fourth mistake that most of you guys are using right now is that you are using illegal and high-risk shortcuts to clean your credit. And I gotta make sure I take my time here. I gotta make sure I'm careful with my words and what I say here, because I know there's some people watching and they're gonna try and slip me up and trip me up with my words. So I'll make sure I'm very, very careful here. All right, listen to me clear and listen to me close, because I'm not gonna say it twice. I was trying to find something that said wrong with close, but it's okay. We're gonna go. Now listen, some of you guys who are watching this right now have been educated that the way for you to clean your credit is by using identity theft reports when you ain't never had your identity stolen, filing police reports when you and 911 ain't got no business together. You know, once again, these ID theft affidavits and all these other different things. Here's what most of you guys don't understand. Let's take an FTC report, for example. Whenever you try and remove a negative item from your report, and let's say if you use the FTC report to do so, a lot of times people get excited because they'll see the collection fall off or get removed from their credit report when they submit it. What they don't know is that a lot of times what actually happens is whenever you file fraud against a negative item and you actually haven't gone through fraud, they block the account from your report so that they can investigate it. They don't actually delete it. So because they block that account from your report, in your mind, you're like, oh, we good. Oh, we good. Yeah, it's gone. Life is good. Life is amazing. And then you're confused when 2-3 months pass by and it's back on your report. It's because they lifted the block after conducting whatever investigation that they did. And here's the problem, that now in that situation, the negative account is back on your report, number one. And then number two, there's more than likely going to be comments on your credit report that say that you claim that this account was fraudulent. Why is that a problem? Well, the reason why that's a problem is because now when it comes to other lenders that you're going to maybe look to work with, they're going to see that when they're evaluating your credit report, and that's also going to weigh negatively against you when it comes time for you to apply for credit. Now, if you've actually gone through fraud, somebody has actually stolen your identity, this does not apply to you. But if you haven't and you're trying to get your credit repaired fast, quick, and in a hurry, okay? If you're trying to get your credit repaired fast, quick, and in a hurry, hey Siri, play Jail by Kanye West. You're going there, all right? It's over. You want to make sure that you stay away from that. All right. And make sure that you're using the right methods that'll actually get your credit clean in a way that's legal and effective. And leveraging these methods is not the way for you to go ahead and do so. Mistake number 5 is not understanding how lenders evaluate credit. Most of you guys are coming into this repair process with no end in mind, which is why it's so difficult for you after the repair process to rebuild your credit. What do I mean by that? When you're going into the repair process, you should have a clear reason as to why you're looking to get your credit repaired in the first place. Yes, of course, you want to have good credit, but I would also assume that there's some larger goal that you have at the end of the finish line, whether it's house, car, funding, right? That's the typical big 3. Once you're clear on your why, which is why do I need to go ahead and make sure my credit report is where it needs to be. Then from there, it allows for you to get clear on the how, which is okay, because I know why I need my credit clean, which is to get funding. Now I know how I need to go ahead and structure my credit report and what type of accounts that I need to be applying for in order for me to go out and do so. As you're going through the repair process, I'm not saying you have to stop the repair process at this current moment in time for you to go out and put yourself in, I'm not saying you have to stop your repair process for you to figure these things out. These are things that you could actively be determining if you're going through the process, but this will help you when it comes to knowing how to prioritize the structuring of your profile. I'll give you an example. Let's say you say, okay, my why is I want to get 50K in funding. Well, that lets me know, and that should let you know, that building comparable credit once you come out of the credit repair process is going to be priority number one for you. Why? Because when you're applying for business credit, having larger lines on your personal credit report are going to be super duper important when it comes to getting approved for funding on the business side, because they're looking at those large lines of credit. They're looking at those large lines of credit to determine how much they'll approve you on the business side, versus if you're only trying to get your credit clean just so that you could do typical, consumer-based financing, i.e. house and car, then the size of the limits would help. But overall, when it comes to the structuring of your profile, the age that you have and the age that you have with your accounts is going to play a much larger role when it comes to you looking to do financing on whether it's on the consumer side for a house or a car or wherever it may be. So in the year 2026, I want to make sure that you guys are headed in the right direction and ensuring that of these mistakes, that none of them are what you're doing at this current moment in time. So if you need to, go back, rewatch this video again, and make sure that none of these mistakes are currently a part of your credit repair process to ensure that you're in the prime position to have the credit you need to either fund your business, get that house, or get the car, or use whatever you need when it comes to leveraging your personal credit report. But that's all for this video, family. If you like the content in this video and you want to learn more about working with me and my team to go ahead and get your personal credit restored, go ahead and use the link in the description below to book a free call with us, and we'll talk more with you about what it looks like to make it happen. Or if you're watching this video and you are an early stage entrepreneur and you need assistance learning how to restore your credit yourself, structure your business, and leverage funding strategies to get access to capital, the link for my mentorship program will also be in the description below. And lastly, if you are watching this video and you are an entrepreneur that has at least a 700 credit score with a business, or a business that's doing at least $500,000 in revenue, and you're looking to work with us to help you get access to capital, the link to book a call with me and my team is going to be in the description below as well. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, peace.